All right, so we are back for sports episode.
Welcome.
This week, we're ramping up into the fantasy football season. Next week, we might be coming with some football with the Great American Youth content, so stay tuned for that. But this week, we want to give you all a
Oh yeah.
draft preview. Jacob and I, we were just talking. We haven't done our research for fantasy this year. We're
It's
behind.
draft season. It's draft season. We're
Exactly.
behind. Let's go. Let's get
So
caught up right now.
So we're going to get caught up today. We're doing a mock draft. Our league is half PPR. We're doing a minute clock. We put the settings on what we use for our 10-person league. And we're going to go ahead, do a random mock draft, randomized order mock draft, go through with you guys, I guess, talk through the strategy and stuff and, figure it out. So go through, start the draft, randomize the order, and see what us get. Shout out to Fantasy Pros for giving us
Doing it
this
with the
one.
pros. The
And
best of the best. Here we go.
it looks like we got 9 and 10, so we're at the back end of the first round. So this is,
Perfect.
I guess we're back-to-back picks, so maybe not ideal that we're at the end of the first round, but, we get to go back-to-back with our analysis here. So let's see.
Perfect. Get to talk right into it.
Yeah, so looking at it, they have
Go.
Justin Jefferson. Oh, and yep, they just simmed through the first 8 picks. Justin Jefferson goes number 1, Jamar Chase 2, McCaffrey 3,
McCaffrey,
Eckler 4, then Kelsey, Tyreek, Chubb, and then Cooper Kupp. That's an interesting. The 2 receivers, 1-2 is interesting. We have 3 top running backs go off the board too. How do you feel about that top 8?
Kind of surprising that Kelsey ended up going number 5. But
Yeah.
2 receivers first is also kind of wild to me. I've never heard of any draft starting like that.
Yeah, no, that's wild. The way the Fantasy Pros stuff work is they have like tiers of players on this left-hand side. All the tier 1 players are gone. I'm pretty sure that like Cup is the highest, or I think they already had a tier 2 player taken. I'm already low on the clock. I got to take the number 1 guy here, Bijan. Running back has to be the first pick for us, so that's an easy one.
Yeah, and now you screwed me because those 4 running backs that are already off the board were the only 4 I was comfortable taking in the first round. So now I'm probably going to look to go receiver. And honestly, Diggs at the end of the first round isn't awful to me. I don't really see anybody else that can really compares right now, especially at receiver. So I'm probably going to go Diggs first. There we go. Get stacked up there.
All right. Saquon, Henry, and Devontae Adams go the picks in between you. Pollard as well. So a few of the other top running backs go off the board in between your last pick.
No. Obviously, you want to go running back here. But Jonathan Taylor, huge question mark considering you just requested a trade. I think the only safe pick here is Josh Jacobs. Even though he still also didn't he request a trade? He wants out. Ramondre Stevenson kind of feels like you're dropping down a whole nother level. I think Josh Jacobs is the safest running back bet here. I don't really want to go receiver. That kind of puts me in a bad spot going forward. So I'm going to go Josh Jacobs here.
All right. And my team, I already have my number 1 running back in Bijan. A.J. Brown, I don't mind here. I don't mind Amon-Ra either. And looking at the running backs on the board, again, it's like the Jonathan Taylor thing. How is he going to do? I think Bijan has the same bye as Jonathan Taylor is what it's looking like. Yeah, so just realistically, I don't know if I would want to stack those 2 starters on the same week. I think they have CeeDee Lamb as the number 1 receiver here. Like, they're recommending him to me, but I have no interest in, I don't think he's worth a pick this high. I feel a lot more comfortable. I'd feel more comfortable with A.J. Brown or Amon-Ra St. Brown. And actually, we were talking about it. I'm high on that Detroit offense. So I'm going to go with Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Go for it. I like that.
All right. And then I got the next pick. We see some more guys.
Comes back to you here.
Yeah, so we got a lot of picks in between. Notable players. It's fighting me, the scrolling thing here. But notable players gone off the board: Jonathan Taylor, Mahomes,
Some quarterbacks.
CeeDee Lamb. Yep. We got Josh Allen off the board too, Jahmyr Gibbs, Joe Mixon, Amari Cooper, Mark Andrews.
Mark Andrews, another big tight end.
ETN, the pick before me. So it was a lot of big guys off the board.
Looks like all the solid, trustable running backs are gone.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
But this pick right here, though, I think who I'm going to go with in the third round, Aaron Jones. He's sitting here. He's my top recommended running back. And
that's good.
Chris Olave is a solid. I wouldn't mind Chris Olave, but I know I'm going to pick again soon. I really want to nail down having a solid 1-2 punch at running back. So I'm going to go Aaron Jones here.
I like it. Right now I'm sitting at Josh Jacobs, Stephon Diggs. I like that. I kind of want to ideally get another running back, but there's just not great options there. Gonna go back to receiver probably. I feel like Olave is a decent option here. T. Higgins also a solid option. And I'm actually going to change my mind. And I'm going to go quarterback because I think Lamar Jackson is one of a kind. And I don't know if he's coming back to me even at my next round pick. So I'm going to go with that. 58% of experts agree. You know, you can always love that. Love to hear that. New offense there in Baltimore with Odell Beckham, Zay Flowers, healthy Rashad Bateman, running backs that are healthy. What's not to like, you know? I'm gonna put again here. So I got a solid QB, running back, receiver. I'm gonna check out the tight end, see if there's anything there. T.J. Hawkinson, Waller, Kittle kind of feels like a good pick here. They have it as 9% of experts agree. They have him as the 5th ranked tight end, which I don't really agree with. But it feels also a bit early. So I'm gonna go back to running backs.
It's not really a ton of some iffy options at running back. So
this guy I really like though. I had him last year. It's his second year in the league now. Dameon Pierce. He should be up and coming. New coach, new QB, better pieces around that offense. I'm excited to see what he does this year. Got my 2 running backs and I like it.
So coming in with the next pick in the 4th round, I got my 2 running backs already. I got Bijan. I got Aaron Jones. I could go tight end here. Higgins is my highest percentage. 57% of the experts want me to pick Higgins. Hawkinson at 22%. I'm kind of feeling running back again, though. And I feel like someone who he's been like a sick handicap the last few years. And I feel like he's, this year he's the number 1 guy. I'm going to take Alexander Mattison out of Minnesota. I feel like that could be a sneaky good pick. If he's my flex, if he's my starting flex, I'm very happy this season. So don't mind that one at all. Going through, you see we got
TJ Hawk.
Miles Sanders, Hawk off the board. This sliding board fights with me. We got DJ Moore pick, DK Metcalf.
Debo.
Off the board. Debo gone. Kenneth Walker gone. Miles Sanders. Brendan Ayuk. Scary Terry. So a lot of good players off the board.
Fields.
Heading into this pick, though, Justin Herbert is here. And I feel like, not that that's a bad pick, but I just don't know how much, that's worth it if Herbert is like the MVP. I feel like. I don't know if I want to invest in that right here. DeAndre Hopkins is still here on the board. He's the 2nd receiver. I'd rather have him than Jerry Jeudy. They have 36 recommending Jerry Jeudy. I'm going to go with DeAndre Hopkins as my 2nd receiver to Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Took a receiver right before me. And the tight end position, George Kittle went right before me, which kind of stings. But, that's how drafts go here. And just as you said, I don't really trust that Denver Broncos offense. I'll pass on Jerry Jeudy. I'm kind of checking out the receivers now. Deontay Johnson, solid option. It's very deep here. I feel like there's no wrong options.
Mm-hmm.
I guess we'll find out. But Mike Williams, that feels like a solid pick to me. Both Chris Godwin and Mike Evans. Drake London too, the top receiver in Atlanta. Christian Watson, that feels like a hard pick to turn down right now after the year he had last year. So I'm gonna go with him too, and he's a different pie than my other players, so that's good to see. And I'm up again. Going back to my team right now, I have my QB1, my RB, both my RBs filled out, both my receivers filled out. So I'm gonna try to check out tight end again and check out flex too. Try to find a good flex option for me to start every game.
Still got Waller and Pitts on the board, and Goddard.
Tempting. I feel like Waller's hard to turn down, but if you look at my team, 3 of my players are already week 13 buys. I can't go for another one, I don't think. I don't want to have to drop somebody that week, so I'm gonna skip on that. I like a running back. Let's see what the best flex options are.
Drake London still on the board.
Interesting. I'll take that pick for you. You know, Drake London. He's been solid in the past. Again, guy with some upside. I'm excited to see what he does.
Yeah, I would say first year. You know, he's definitely. You think that Atlanta offense has the potential to do some big things with Drake London. They got Bijan in this year too. Ritter at QB. It'll be interesting to see how stuff unfolds for them.
Definitely.
Roll back to my team. I still don't have a QB. I don't have my tight end yet either. And Waller's still on the board. See, the thing is, when we were talking about this before, tight end is such a weird position. And in our league, it's definitely going to be drafted because of people's experiences with tight ends. It's going to be drafted weirdly. I don't know if I feel good about taking Waller there. But I don't know. I do think he's a higher echelon of tight end than the rest. I think he has higher upside. So we'll take him here in the 6th round, fill out my skill positions at the starting lineup.
I would have probably taken him. Again, the week 13 bye. You're welcome. Kind of messed me up.
Yeah, I'm going to have to thank you for the bye week on that one. We see Dalvin Cook go in between. It was interesting. Breece Hall went above Dalvin Cook in this mock draft.
Very weird.
Interesting to see how that'll go. Christian Kirk just went off the board. A few QBs, Tua, Dak, and Deshaun Watson all off the board. So I'm looking a little thin in a few places.
Damn.
I feel like Micah Pittman at receiver, Marquise Brown at receiver, Hollywood Brown might be my pick here. We were talking about this before too. With no DeAndre Hopkins, he is going to be the number 1 option in that offense, regardless of who the quarterback is. And there's value to that. I really do think that. Michael Pittman, you know, in that offense, it's going to be, I guess they're trading Jonathan Taylor, so maybe they do try to throw a little bit more. But Anthony Richardson's a rookie QB. He's a little bit raw there. Marquise Brown, I have a little bit more faith in him producing.
Yeah. I'm back on the clock. I clearly need a tight end here. Looking through the options between Evan Ingram, Freiermuth, Njoku, Dalton Schultz. I really don't trust any of them, but I did get to see Houston play, and I did see that Dalton Schultz, they're kind of using him as a receiver. And, I mean, he's going to be kind of the guy in Houston. I don't really know who else C.J. Stroud's going to pass the ball to. So I'm going to go with him. I trust him. High upside there. A lot of targets. He'll be down in lots of games. So kind of low, kind of risky pick, but we'll see how that pans out this year.
And then more good picks. Pickens and Smith and Jigba go right before you.
Yeah, I was looking at receiver next too, of course. So that's perfect. I mean, this is another guy. We talked about this guy before. I think I'm going to take him here. He's a starting running back in Chicago. Khalil Herbert. He's a week 13 bye, but at this point, I don't care. At this point, it's just value over anything. I'm going to take him. If he's going to be starting at running back and still available in I don't even know what round we're in, but the 8th round. Starting running back in the 8th round is not bad value.
Yeah, and you're saying that. It's got me, we'll switch back to my team now. I picked Hollywood Brown in the last round. I know I went Alex Madison, but Brian Robinson sitting at the top of my board here, and I do think Antonio Gibson's going to be used in some interesting ways this year, but Robinson's going to be getting most of the carries, and he didn't get shot this offseason. So he's already starting from a great point. I think Brian Robinson Jr. is a great pick here for the same reason you picked Khalil Herbert. I feel really good about him on my bench. Like, he doesn't even have to start for me. That's a flex, maybe. Going into this pick, I say so. I feel like QB should be the pick here, but I happen to be on running back still, and Devon Achane, he's rookie out of Texas A&M in Miami.
I've heard of him.
Just that pick was like such a great. He ran something stupid. He ran like a 4.3 something 40-yard dash. That pick is built for the Miami offense. I don't know if that's kind of going overkill. I have Madison. I guess just got Brian Robinson. Zay Flowers I see on the board at receiver alongside Michael Thomas. Those are two interesting options. And seeing both of them, I feel like Zay Flowers might have to be the pick here for me. I went Brian Robinson. You know, he is the proven number one on that depth chart. Devon Achane, I think, is going to have to work his way up. Flowers, I think, has a bit more of an established role ready for him in Baltimore, so I'm going to go ahead and take him.
Definitely agree with you there. I was considering the Achane pick because I've heard some good things from Miami there, and I heard they're using him kind of in that Debo role in San Francisco, which could be interesting. But I'm gonna probably go back to receiver here because I just think there's so much value, and immediately when I look at the draft board, there's two receivers that just immediately pop to me. Michael Thomas being available right now just seems ridiculous to me. I mean, obviously, yes, he's been injured the past 2 years. I'm not blind. I'm not dumb. But, like, being available in the 9th round, that's kind of late for a star that's shown potential really good. And Juju Smith. I don't think much of that New England offense, but he is the number one receiver in New England. Being available in the 9th round now, at the end of the 9th round, kind of wild. I'm going to go Michael Thomas. Safe pick. If he doesn't get hurt. And again, I'm back on the clock here. A lot of the same receivers still available there. I do like this Quentin Johnson guy here from the Chargers, or from TCU on the Chargers now. Could be a stud. I don't really want to go receiver again. Might look at the QB again. Could try to stack up there. Like, I think somebody like Anthony Richardson, stacking him behind Lamar Jackson. Even like an Aaron Rodgers, getting either of them behind Geno Smith, all of them great options. I'm going to go Anthony Richardson because that's just a high upside guy that I know will show flashes, and he's not going to be my guy, so I don't need to really rely on him.
Yeah, I would say, especially, I'm mad you took him, but especially with Lamar, I mean, if you had Anthony Richardson, if he ends up being what he could be.
2 Lamars.
Exactly, that just capital you have for a trade, it would be insane. So definitely worth getting that in. I was looking at QB here too, but you taking Anthony Richardson, I don't know if Daniel Jones is worth this pick for me. I have a few week 13 buys as well. I don't know if I'm feeling Aaron Rodgers though either. Looking at some of these other guys, I feel like it might be boring, but I feel like defense or something might have to be the pick here for me. We'll go, you know what, every year in our league, he goes, you know, customarily high, and he's a week 13 buy, but I don't care. I'm going to take Justin Tucker at this pick. He has to go sometime.
In honor of Matt Cohen.
It's in honor of the Ravens fans. In honor of the Commanders breaking the Ravens' preseason winning streak.
As we predicted last week.
There we go. We're going with Justin Tucker.
Because we won on a field goal.
We love to see it. And for this next pick, Daniel Jones is still on the board, but unfortunately, Justin Tucker did have a week 13 bye, so I feel like I definitely can't double down on that. I don't mind Geno Smith here. I think, you know, with DK Metcalf, he has Tyler Lockett, Jackson Smith, and Jigba inserted into that offense now. Is Gerald Everett still? Who's there?
Yeah, he's still. He's with the Chargers.
No, he was with the Chargers. Who's there? I feel like they had Disney for a little bit.
Fant.
I know. Noah Fant got traded there with the Russell Wilson trade. I think they have weapons. You know, Kenneth Walker. They have Charbonnet on offense. Like, it's a balanced offense with weapons. something Gino's going to do well in. So I'll take him. He's like a consistent, just mid quarterback for fantasy, which is what you need.
Definitely. And I mean, at this point, I think it's all just value picks, people that you think have upside. And somebody I kind of want to take here is from Buffalo, the rookie tight end, Dalton Kincaid. I probably said that wrong, but he had a good college career. I believe he is getting set up in the perfect team. Like, we'll probably fill in right behind Dawson Knox, if not on the field together. And he'll probably go kind of unwatched or unnoticed under, like, with Stephon Diggs on one side, Gabe Davis. It's kind of a stacked offense already. I think he'll be filling in kind of in that perfect spot for Josh Allen, the bailout option. Kind of how Dawson Knox has been in the past few years. And then I'm up again. Again, it's probably more depth pick here for me. I'm going to look at the receivers. And the fact that, again, I think there's so much depth in receivers this year. It's crazy. I'm taking, like, Allen Lazard right now. Seems like one of the biggest steals of the draft. He could be the number 2, could be number 1 receiver. I mean, right tied with Garrett Wilson in New York. I'm going to take him there. That seems like a great pick late in the draft. I'm happy about that.
All right, so
we're nearing the end here. 3 left.
So we only got a few left. Both of your picks were solid. Going through, I still got space for a defense. I could use a backup tight end behind Waller. You know, his injuries and stuff always are kind of iffy. I like Cole Kmet, but he has that same bye week. Freiermuth, I don't mind the idea of Freiermuth, but I don't know. I don't know if I want to commit to that necessarily. So we got Marquise Brown and Zay Flowers. So going into a receiver again isn't really needed. And the running backs here, you know, we have Madison as well. So I guess I feel good at running back. Said my time is up on the board. I think we're just going to have to go with Freiermuth here. That makes the most sense for me, just getting a backup tight end in. And I got the next pick. We see Thielen go. Tank Dell out of Houston. That's an interesting rookie. Aaron Rodgers go. The Dallas defense. Roshan Johnson. Deuce Vaughn out of Dallas as well. Daniel Jones, the pick before me. I think here, defense kind of just has to be the pick. I don't know. I think that makes the most sense here. The Jets, I kind of want to go Jets D, but they're trying to scare me with the strength of schedule thing, saying they have the 29th strength of schedule. We're going with the Jets defense.
Can't scare you. All right, I'm going to have another, again, I think a great pick for me. And I'm always looking at the end of the draft, I'm looking for handcuffs, and I'm looking for guys with high upside. And I think the perfect handcuff for me, considering I have Josh Jacobs, is Zamir White. Considering he's still available, is great. And that'll kind of fill out my bench here. So I'm going to go with defense and kicker just to cap it off at the very end. Let's see. Not great options available, if I'm being honest, for defense.
Yeah, I say so. Why you gotta? That's defense is really one of the ones where if you're not taking like one of the top 3, kicker kind of the same thing, then don't even bother.
Yeah, honestly, you make a great point, and I've been bitten in the past for just taking somebody and it just doesn't pan out because you drop the kicker even before the week 1 starts. So I might just go with a value play here. I might go Jared Goff. Why not?
That's a good one.
43%. Might as well.
Yeah, so I was thinking about the goofball in Denver. I feel like they're going to do really good in Detroit. I said Denver. I feel like they're going to do great in Detroit this year. That offense just has a lot. I wish Jameson Williams didn't get suspended because if he was able to start the year with them, that offense could really do some crazy things. But, you know, unfortunately going to have to wait a few weeks for him to get in. Going through my roster. Still got 2 receivers in. It's like running back. Jerome Ford is here. Chuba Hubbard. Who's number 1 in Carolina? Is it Deontay Foreman? Like, is he still there?
No, Miles Sanders.
Miles Sanders, you're right. Oh, well, it's yelling at me now. So we're gonna handicap too. I'm gonna take Chuba Hubbard. I feel like that makes sense. I guess Jerome Ford would have been Nick Chubb's handicap, so that's why he's
Yeah.
okay. All right.
Makes
Well,
sense.
I figured that out too late. I guess in hindsight, I would have picked Jerome Ford to get that handicap. But I have another pick here. I feel like going with a QB behind Geno isn't awful. There isn't anyone else here. I can just go handicap again. I'm going to take Jerome Ford, and we're just going to double down on the handicaps to round out my bench. That's how we're rocking.
I like that. I'm up here with the last pick. I just wanted to see if there's anyone big that we're kind of missing out on. Somebody I just found in the draft that I want to take is Taysom Hill.
Mm.
He's in the 5th tier of tight ends. It lets me. Here we go. It says injured, but you know that guy will be on the field at the end of the year. And just got the rating back.
Yeah, I would say it popped up on the top of my screen.
Very
so
quick.
I got this is showing my final team. I guess I'll go out of it. So I got an 84 out of 100. I got a B. What was your score?
I got a 73 out of 100. A C, unfortunately. I honestly felt really good about this team too, which kind of sucks.
I feel like it's probably factoring in the no kicker in defense.
It definitely could.
I feel like it has to. But still, looking at your team, I guess I got it pulled up on the screen now on the side. How do you feel overall? I guess just going through your starting lineup. What are your thoughts? What were some of your favorite picks? How would you feel going into a season with this as your team?
I would feel great, honestly. Like I think the running backs are stacked. I think that's 2 solid running backs who you'll get at least 10 points from every week, which at this point you really need to bank on. And I feel the same way about the receivers. I know they're going to get production. They're going to get targets every single game. Lamar, again, he has potential to be the top QB. I think that was my favorite pick, stealing him in, I think it's the 4th or maybe 5th round. I think that was my favorite pick there. And again, I think I have a lot of late round steals too that would end up being very beneficial, like Khalil Herbert, Michael Thomas, Anthony Richardson, as you mentioned, Zamir White as a handcuff. I think that's a great pick. I think if Josh Jacobs, if that doesn't pan out, Zamir White, sub him in. Perfect. It's like nothing even happened. And then Dalton Schultz, and again, another guy with upside that we'll see what happens. I don't know. How do you feel about your team? What was your favorite pick of the draft?
Yeah, so I'm going over. I like my team top to bottom. I mean, I got Bijan and Aaron Jones at starting running back. Madison is my flex. Amon-Ra St. Brown and D-Hop is my starting receivers. Waller is my tight end. I have Hollywood Brown and Brian Robinson on my bench. A few, Zay Flowers is really the only other meaningful guy. My bench is a little weak behind Marquise Brown and Brian Robinson. Freiermuth is whatever. He'll end up on waivers at some point. Flowers probably ends up like most of the guys on my bench outside of Marquise Brown and Brian Robinson are waiver guys, like most likely at some point over the season. But I like the rest of my roster. I'm gonna click into the draft analysis thing. I know you did this before. I just want to see what this will show us. Anything interesting before we sign off?
Let's see. You can see kind of positional breakdown too, which is cool.
Yeah. I guess it had us in a 12-team league. Wow, look at it. Unfortunately, you can't see it here, but it has you as last place, Jacob. It's got
I know, I see it on my end.
Yeah, there we
Hey, only 10 points out. Only 10 points out. And honestly, that looks like a very tight 841 to 950 is not bad. That seems very close disparity-wise.
That's true. If you look at it, all the teams here relatively in the same ballpark. My starters here are ranked 4th, and I guess we can go over some of your position ranks. My starters are ranked 4th in the league, and I guess my top position group, my flex is number 1 as well. So I guess that's just overall my skill position groups. I think having Madison as my starter there is huge, especially with Robinson Jr. and then Marquise Brown backing him up. That's pretty stacked.
definitely. On my end, going through my position ranks, QB ranked 4th. I mean, I love that. It's just Lamar and Anthony Richardson. Running backs ranked 8th. Kind of surprising to me. I think it's just Dameon Pierce not being ranked high through Fantasy Pros. So screw you, Fantasy Pros. Receivers ranked 6th in the league, which I think is fair. I think I'm pretty, I would say above average, right around average. And then tight end not ranked too high, but again, a guy I chose that I think has high upside. So again, I'm taking a risk there. And flex, I kind of feel like I have great options there, so I don't know why I'm ranked 8th. So I guess that doesn't really consider bench. But yeah, I think this thing doesn't really like my bench, and that's kind of bringing me down. But I mean, 9th ranked starters, that's not awful. Like QBs have a lot of weight in most leagues. Having a top QB can do a lot for you. So, I mean, any final tips, Anthony, that you have for people doing their drafts this week before we sign off and do ours in a few days?
I guess one more thing. I'm scrolling down here too. I want to check out some of the draft insights on the page. So I guess who were the top players they gave me were Bijan and Justin Tucker. I guess they're both ranked top 3 in their position. My what if was if I drafted Jonathan Taylor in the 2nd round, I would have had a 58 points higher on my score. That's interesting. It's mentioning the bye weeks and everything, saying I reached for Justin Tucker, whatever. This doesn't matter. We have to reach for Justin Tucker. It just is what it is. And then saying Pat Freiermuth was my steal in the 12th round. So, I'll take that as some solid insights. While Fantasy Pros rankings are a little funny, I'll take this. This is
take those compliments. Yeah. That's solid.
Well, what you got on your end?
I actually can't seem to find that on my end. I don't know if you can pull that up.
I'll say it just scrolled when I just scrolled down on mine. Like it's under the position ranks for me.
I don't think mine has it. It says like you have to upgrade for it, which is weird.
It says see upgrade options for me, and then right under it just says draft insights.
Oh, I do see that. Yeah. Okay, so sleeper alert. I got the number 1 tight end sleeper of all of them, Dalton Kincaid. Okay. Number 1 sleeper QB, Anthony Richardson. So I don't know why they're rapping on my bench right now. Like, I got the number 1 steal. Like, they drafted Jared Goff in the 2 rounds. Oh my god, my reach was Dalton Schultz 2 rounds earlier than he's ranked. All right, that's fair. All right, I mean, if I dropped David Montgomery at 7.10, my score would have been 98 points higher.
So if you,
I don't.
Who did you draft at 7? Can you see who you drafted at 7 instead?
Who did I take at 7? That's once I look at my team, I should be able to figure that out.
Because David Montgomery was the difference between you finishing where you did. Oh, that's interesting. It ranks your starters, your bench, and then overall, like it has projected standings for all of those.
I would have literally been, if it gave me those 98 points, I would have literally been 2nd.
Yeah, same.
Or like third.
Yeah, so if you drafted David Montgomery,
what?
You'd be third.
All right, I don't know what these rankings are on right now, but I mean, I guess they're saying I don't really have great running backs, but like again, that's just them saying Dameon Pierce isn't that good, which I guess he isn't super proven, but still, like
he had a really good season last year, so I don't know why they wouldn't rate him.
The team got better around him. I don't understand that.
All right. Well, I guess go and do your own fantasy draft on Fantasy Pros, I guess, if you would like to.
Get some mock drafts in.
Yeah.
Get ready.
And let us know whose team is better. What did you think about our mock draft? Who did poorly, who did well. And I guess next time we talk, we might have some actual draft to talk about with you guys, no?
Yeah, some real teams. I'm excited for that. Good luck with your drafts, guys. We'll talk to you soon.